Hello, my name is Aleksandra Borucka. I would like to welcome you to our webinar. Today we are going to talk about BCC MatFlow, and now Krzysztof Usowicz, who is the main author of this solution, will present it.
Hello, let me first present you the agenda of today's presentation. First of all, I will present you usual problems that may occur during Material Master Data Management. Then I will try to justify why BCC MatFlow and generally SAP Business Workflow technology is the right technology to solve such problems. And then I present you BCC's model process design, which is embedded in the solution. Then I will describe two main tools that are contained in the package. This is to name a Material Master Requisition document and Master Data Project document. I will also show you an example process, and then this process will be shown in the real SAP demo system. At the end, there will be questions and answers session. Usually, during Material Master Data Management, many problems may occur. For example, material data is not maintained on time, which may cause delays. Material data is not maintained completely, which may cause interruptions. Material data is not maintained correctly, which may cause errors. Material data can be duplicated, and also material data creation process is generally difficult to execute. Here, basically, coordination aspect is the main problem, because different people execute tasks, and these people are spread over the organization. And material data creation process cannot be tracked and audited effectively. The reason for such problems is that the process is not properly designed. This is the first important statement. We do not have a process. And then if we don't have a process, we also don't have a tool that supports this process. We would like to offer both of these elements. Yes, we would like to offer, first of all, a solid process design, which is embedded in the solution, and the solution itself, the tool that allows to execute these processes. So usually, Material Master Data Management process looks somehow just like shown on the screen. Certainly, this process is executed because it must be executed. Workers in the company perform transactions and fill in all the required data. However, the process is not transparent. We do not know completely how it is executed and how tasks are named. It might be undocumented. So such processes are unorganized, chaotic, not auditable, and with tasks executed in a completely ad hoc manner, generally with communication performed by email, phone, with the use of some Excel attachments, etc. The solution, first of all, to such problems is to design a robust, repeatable process. Yes. So, in other words, we may say know who does what, does when, and with what data. Such process should be implemented using a tool that would support the following elements. First of all, the process execution, so the task sequence control, and task allocation to users. Secondly, process monitoring, tracking, and auditing. The tool which is appropriate for such an implementation within SAP ERP system is generally SAP Business Workflow Technology, which is a technical basis for the tool called BCC MatFlow that I'm going to present. If we implement master data management process within workflow, we obtain a workflow supported process in which tasks are well defined and modeled within the system, so that we know which things should be done in which order and by whom. We obtain an organized, automated, auditable process with all the tasks executed in the predefined order and by the right people. Here in this slide, in this picture on the computer, we see a small envelope. It is generally to say that workflow is not going to eliminate email communication because it's unfeasible, but it will support all the main tasks by the right people. The tool contains an embedded process design, which we call a model process. The process design has been evolving over past 3 years and is based on our real experience from real projects. We at BCC implemented such process a few times, and generally the architecture of the process is as follows. At the beginning, we have a need for a new material, which is shown as a green dot. This need can be expressed via the Material Requisition document. So the requisitioner, any person in the organization, can create such a document and release it to the business approvers, which is optional step, and then finally such requisition is received by the master data team, where one person or a group of people verify the requisition, accept it or reject. When the requisition is rejected, the task is sent back to the requisitioner so that the requisitioner can withdraw the material requisition document or release it again. So we have a loop here in which those people taking part in this process can communicate via the tool. When the master data expert accepts the requisition, then the material is generated automatically in the database of the SAP system, and then the second part of the process starts. The second part is less generic because it's specific to each material type. For example, different tasks are needed for finished goods, and different tasks are needed for raw materials that are purchased externally. So for example, finished goods can have tasks such as creation of bill of material, routing, calculation of the price, etc., while when purchased goods can have completely different tasks such as creation of some pricing elements and so on. So generally the loop between master data team, which is a central organization unit, and requisitioners is a generic part and is shared by all material types. Here what is not said in the picture is that generally people who are within the organization do not have access to the Material Master data maintenance transactions. Yes, so requisitioners always express the need for creation of new material or change on the existing material on the material requisition, and only the master data team have access to the maintenance transactions. This is called generally dual control. Yes, the requisitioners cannot change master data by themselves. They always request changes. So, for example, the purpose of the document, of the material requisition document, is to capture the need for material where it originates. So, for example, any person in the organization can create material requisition document and send it via workflow. Capture this need in a structured, system-based manner. What we often see in our clients is that some Excels are used, which are more or less formal documents. Material requisition document is completely aligned to the data model that is contained in the standard system. So when filling the requisition document, users generally work with fields that are standard fields in the Material Master maintenance transaction. Allow a business user to have influence on Material Master fields. The requisitioners can fill the requisition as they want. They can fill those fields that, for example, are interested in, but leave those that are not. So the user who creates requisition document does not frustrate because the entries made on the document are not final and are not immediately productive. Yes, because they are just, we may say, parked they are in some temporary state. Another purpose is to allow a business user to work on the document comfortably. For example, the user can make use of reference materials, standard search helps, all the tools that are available in the standard SAP system, and then allow a business user to send the requisition to the approvers or verifiers without thinking of who should be informed. Without workflow, people must enter an email when they are sending, for example, requests via email. Here, using workflow, they just push the button, and the workflow sends the right task to the right people automatically. So the ultimate aim of the solution of the workflow is to provide the result of the highest quality, which is material, which is 100% ready for productive usage, so that no errors should occur during productive usage. Here we can see on the left there is a material requisition header, and on the right we can see the fields of the material requisition. This document will be shown in just a few minutes in the system. An example process for a finished goods may look like as follows. First, any requisitioner can create a Material Master Requisition document, and then the same person releases the Material Master Requisition documents to workflow. A business approver receives a task in which he or she can approve the Material Master Requisition document from the business point of view, not technically. This step is generally optional. and when the business approver approves the requisition, so when he or she says that yes, this material is needed, the task is sent to the central master data team expert or experts, and then these people verify the material master requisition, and after acceptance, a material is generated automatically. At this moment, we have a real material which is stored in the SAP database. Then the second part of the process starts. In the case of finished good, there are some tasks associated with the product data generally. So first, bill of material should be created by a product engineer. Therefore, the product engineer receives a task via workflow, which executes a standard transaction to create bill of material. In parallel, for example, because tax rates are often considered to be sensitive fields, an additional tasks is sent to some person from the sales department to verify the sales and distribution view. This is a parallel task, and it isn't obligatory. Then when we have a bill of material, another person who is, for example, a process engineer should create or assign an existing routing so that the system knows how this finished good should be produced. When this product data is complete, workflow sends some tasks to operational controlling department, as we may say, and these people, for example, can create a cost collector. This is a specific SAP document used in repetitive manufacturing, execute finished good price calculation, and release the price. At the end, the workflow can send notifications based on some distribution list to all the people who are interested in knowing that the material of this type had been finished. Each workflow based on the material requisition document is generally a separate instance, so is associated with exactly one material requisition. But often several materials are created during one distinctive undertaking. For example, a new family of products is going to hit the market soon. Therefore, a tool is needed to help manage such projects. And the BCC MatFlow contains a document which is called Master Data Project Document. And this document is solely designed to manage many workflow instances based on material requisition document. So it's like a bag of workflows. Yes, it links several workflows together under one project. So the purpose of Master Data Project Document is as follows: to register the project under a name and title, enter a person who is ultimately responsible for a project, assign a project type, collect texts, attachments associated with the project, determine people who are responsible for particular material types, automatically inform the right people that new work will be required in the project. For example, new materials will have to be requested soon, and collect all workflow instances linked to the project and enable their joint monitoring and tracking. As we can see, this is a simple document which has 4 tabs, some main data with the description of the project, with the project type, with the person who is responsible, with some dates. We have also tabs with comments, workflows that are linked to the project, and users responsible for material types. We'll see this document just in a moment in the system. The tool BCC MatFlow can be configured to some extent. For example, material requisition fields can be grouped. Each company can group the fields differently. Field groups can be suppressed depending on the material type or industry, made invisible generally. Companies usually don't use all the fields that are available. There are simply too many, and they are used in many different variations of processes. So those fields that are unused can be hidden quite easily. The logo can be altered. Out of the box there is a BCC logo, but we may install the client's logo. Reference material can be entered in a special custom search help, which makes creation of master requisitions easier for the requisitioners, because they can simply choose a reference material from a list which is dedicated for MatFlow. Also, the project types can be configured in the Material Master Data project document. So the behavior per material type is specified, and the tool is available in Polish and English. But BCC can prepare a translation to any other language if it is required. And what is important, the tool requires SAP ERP 6.0 system or higher. On the lower versions it will not run. I will present it in the system, in our demo system. So we access the functionality by entering so-called transaction code ZWF, and on the left side we can see the menu of the solution. It is divided into two sections. The first section, applications, and the second section, configuration. In the application section, we can see that there are custom transactions created for maintenance of the requisition document, and the second set of transactions are transactions used to create, change, and display the master data project card. At the bottom, we can see that there are several configuration transactions for the tool. So let me start the presentation from the creation of the master data project card for a new bike. When I create a new master data project card, first we need to enter some description of the project. A description of the project, a concise description, and then we need to choose the production plant. We can see that the system defaulted the value to 1000 here, and what is most important on this screen, we select the project type. Here we have configured only one project type, which is default project type. It could be, for example, a manufacture of a new finished good, or for example changing of a packaging. Basically the project type influences which material types are active for a project. So for example, new finished good should have a finished good material type active. We will see it in a moment. Here we can enter a person responsible for the project. It might be a person from a marketing department or maybe from engineering department. We can enter the person either as an SAP user, or we can enter also an email address. We can also maintain three dates. We can maintain a date for the master data being complete. Yes, for example, we want the master data to be complete at the end of November, and then we want to have plant ready for production. Let's say on the first day of New Year. We do not have to put all dates. They are just informative at this moment. However, they could be used to actively monitor deadlines within workflows. So when I confirm the first view here, on the users tab, we can see that the system, the program, a list of types. This list of material types depends on the selected project type. This default project type here generally causes all demo material types to be active. And as you can see on the screen, there is a set of there are two sets of users visible. This user, the first user, is a business owner of the material type, and it might be seen as a person who is superior to the people listed on the right. So when the project will be confirmed by this user, yes, for this material type, these people can create material requisitions for finished goods with reference to this project. But before it will happen, I will first of all save the master data project card as a new document. You can see we obtained the number 64, and now this project card can be released. So it's still not visible. Yes, for example, we may try to use it to create a new finished good. We obtain a message: MD project card 64 has not been released yet. So it's not released. We cannot use it. So now I will release it. I'll go into change mode, and there is a button with a green flag which causes the MD project card to be released. When the card is released, business users responsible for material types will receive a work item on their SAP inbox, which allows to activate material type for a project. So I release it, save, and now if we display, for example, workflows associated with this document, yes, we can see that there is a workflow, and the workflow sent exactly two tasks. The first task is was sent to user Kęstowicz G, and the second one was sent to me, Jusowicz K. Why? The explanation for this is that there are exactly two different people responsible for material types. For example, I am responsible for not only finished good but also for raw materials, packaging, and so on. So now, as a person who received a notification, I enter into my inbox, and I can see that there is a work item: participation confirmation, master data project card 64, a new superbike. So now I, as an owner of those material types, as you can see, I can confirm these material types that are assigned to me. For demonstration purposes, I will confirm only the finished good here. So in order to do this, I click the button Finish. And now when I save, the people who work with me, yes, listed here, will be able to send requisitions for any finished good with reference to this project card. On the Workflows tab, still there are no entries because there are no workflows sent anywhere. Okay, so I save, and it's done. Now I may start creating a new requisition. So imagine that in the project we need to create 10 finished goods, 10 bikes. So I start with the first one. Yes. And now the material requisition can be created with reference to project or without it. It is not an obligatory field. Here I will reference to card 64. As you can see, I choose action here. I can create a requisition for the creation of a new material, for a deletion of an existing material, or for a change on the existing material. Any field, yes. Here I create, and mode new means that it's a completely new material. If I selected extension, then I would have to enter the material number, and for example extend the existing material on the new plant, for example. So basically the mode of work here is similar to how things are done in the standard transactions MM01, MM02. Okay, so I confirm the creation of a new finished good. Now the system defaults the views to be created. This is defaulted from the material type configuration. For the demonstration purposes, I will switch off some views that are not used here on the demo environment. I can confirm, and then I need to basically I need to enter organizational levels that this material is going to be activated for. But if I enter only organizational levels here and save, then I would have to fill the requisition from scratch. All the fields would be empty. Therefore, there is a useful mechanism, which is also a standard way of work in SAP, to use a reference material. As you can see here, we have a field reference material, and basically I can enter any reference material that would be good. Yes. However, in MatFlow there is a special dedicated search help, which is visible here. It reads template materials for a given material type. Yes. So as you can see, this search help accesses some custom table with the material type FERD, which is finished good. And on the list I can see that there is one template. Material 26 is a template for a finished good material. Okay, so I select it, and now I can also point those organizational levels that are going to be used as the reference ones. And having this done, generally the header of the requisition is complete. Now I can save this header in this state. However, I will confirm the header and go directly into the details of the requisition. Please bear in mind that all this data that is created here on the requisition document is kept in a separate set of tables, a completely separate set of tables, custom tables, so that this data is completely invisible until the requisition is accepted. When it is accepted, then it becomes a real material in the SAP database, and this transfer, of course, using standard transfer mechanism called BAPI call. Now let's go into the details. On the second screen, first of all, we need to enter a description for a new finished goods. So this is a new superbike. I can also alter a material group here. However, I won't do it. And then, after confirmation of the description, on the left side, there are data sets that are more or less similar to standard tables in SAP. So this is what was presented earlier on the presentation, that the requisition uses a standard data model. Yes, it doesn't use any custom data model, it uses standard one. So for example, general data is data that is stored at the client level in SAP. These are general fields, yes. So when I click a data set, I can see a grid of fields, and the fields are listed row by row, not column by column, as you can see, because such an arrangement allows to extend the requisition dynamically and configure it dynamically. So for example, when I want to add a new field, I just activate the field and I use the custom mechanism to call the standard search hub. So I obtain a value and I can confirm. And generally the requisitioner now can confirm the views with the template data and alter only this data that is critical. However, this data is not final. The master data expert or IT or shared services center can verify it in the verification task in workflow. So here is just a temporary data. I will confirm the views now with the data taken from the template, because it should work. However, please bear in mind that this data can be edited fully. Yes, so any field I can enter a value and request this value. Okay, units of measure, descriptions. I'm not going to describe in detail these sections. It is sufficient to say that they correspond to standard database tables for material. Yes, so plant data, storage location data, valuation area, units of measure, etc. I will leave tax classification unconfirmed so that you can see why an additional task is created within workflow later. Okay, so at this moment my requisition is complete, and as a requisitioner now I can save it and send to workflow. So request this material. Okay, I save it. The requisition 99 has been created. Now I go into the change mode, and in change mode on the details tab there are two buttons visible: simulate and release. So simulate button allows us to check whether the requisition is consistent, yes, so whether this requisition can be converted into the real material. So as you can see, the green message says that yes, it's okay, and now I can release it, so send it to the expert. I just click release, confirm, and the requisition has been sent. From this moment, it is not allowed to edit the requisition outside of workflow. For example, if I enter in here using transaction, I always in change mode, yes, I always access the document in display mode. This is due to the fact that the status of the document is form, which means released, it has been sent. The workflow with which the document is associated is also visible here. So you can see that currently it is the workflow sent one task called Material Requisition 99 to process, and it is in the inbox of some users. These are experts, yes, these are experts from the master data team. As you can see, I am on the list, so now I will go into my inbox and I will check this document as an expert. Okay, the requisition is here. I just start processing the requisition by double-clicking it, double-clicking the work item, and in the details, as an expert, I have two additional buttons here being activated by the system: accept equals generate and reject. So now, as an expert, I can either accept the requisition as is, without checking, for example. I can simulate whether the requisition is consistent, or I can start processing, and I can now check the values, alter the values, make them correct as an expert. Yes, now I should verify all the views so that fields are correct, because this is the role of the data expert now, to verify all the data. Let's say that something is wrong, and I would like to reject the requisition to the requisitioner. So I click the reject button. Now I need to enter a comment why I am rejecting the document. So I enter some text, some free text, that please fill some field, etc. After saving the comment, the requisition document is simply sent back to the requisitioner. As a requisitioner, I obtain a task called Material Requisition 99 has been rejected. And now here I can see why it has been rejected. So I see on the comments window that the master data expert wrote, please fill some fields, etc. Now I can go to the details, start editing, and for example change the lab office field, save, and release it back to workflow. Or for example, when requisition should be deleted, I can click withdraw from workflow, which means that the requisition was rejected. I will release it back to the back. Now I need to enter why. I change the lab field. Yes. And then the master data expert receives the task again. Here in the comments window, a complete communication between the people taking part in this process is visible. Okay, now I will accept the requisition, and the material will be generated. Now at this point, the material requisition has been accepted. And now let me display the document from outside of workflow. You can see that now this requisition has a material 100 assigned to it. So now, and there is a button here which enables us to go into the material and see the real material data created in the system. And as you can see here, all the data has been transferred from the requisition and is in the material. The material obtained a temporary status, workflow here, processed by workflow, because although the material is created, still some data is going to be created for it. For example, bill of material. Also, let me display the project card that we are referring to. On the Workflows tab, you can see that there is one workflow created with reference to this project. This workflow is still in process, yes, so you can monitor how these processes are going forward. The yellow light shows that this process is still not finished. Using ID column, you can go into the standard workflow log and see what happened in the process up to this moment. Yes, so for example, we see that that the requisition was sent to central expert, then it was rejected, then requisitioner released it again, and then the data expert processed the requisition, so accepted. And now here we can see that the workflow system automatically set cross-plant status workflow for material 100. And here we can see that there are 3 active tasks that have been sent. Yes, so the task verification of SD view, which is a triple-I approach, yes, so this special view needs special investigation. That's why an additional verification is being sent by workflow, and there is a task sent to the product engineer to create bill of material, and we have also a task that is sent to enter some classification for this material. Certainly on this demo environment, all these tasks are sent on my inbox, so I will go back to my inbox and I will process these tasks. So, for example, the classification data I will just simply confirm because it's quite simple. Yes, we just create classification or assign a classification class for batch if the material is batch managed. Here it's not, so we just confirm. And then we can see that there is an SD view work item. I click it and I can change the material 100. This is our new bike, and I can see that for some reason tax classification is not maintained. So I just maintain it properly as a sales expert, save and confirm that this special verification is complete. Yes. Now I can start creation of the product data. So as a product engineer, I receive a task called please create bill of material for material 100. And in this menu, I can display the material, and I can call the transaction used to enter bill of materials. So I create, as you can see, workflow inputs the right material on the screen. Okay, I will create a simple bill of material for a bike, which is built from one crossbeam and basically two wheels. Okay, I will save it, and now I can confirm it. After confirming the creation of the bill of material, the workflow sends tasks to the process engineer, who is responsible for the creation or assignment of an existing routing. Yes, so this is an example of a repetitive manufacturing scenario, and therefore this workflow allows to create a so-called rate routing. However, our product supports also standard routings and for example recipes used in process engineering as well. Okay, so I will create a rate routing, a new one, a new rate routing with the usage production and a released status for lot sizes from 1 to 1000 pieces. Now I am a process engineer, yes, I'm doing a job of a process engineer, and I will go into operations. The bike will be constructed using one operation on the work center line 1. Line 1, let's say that it will take half an hour of a machine time and half an hour of labor. Making of a bike, operation making of a bike. Yes, okay, and now I can confirm it, and the rate routing has been created with a new group ID. Having this done, I need to create a production version, which is a link between a bill of material and a rate routing. So I confirm this task, and I obtain a screen where I can create a production version for this new material. Okay, so I start, I will name it version 1, material 100, sorry, 100, standard version of bike. Version for lot sizes from 1 to 1000 pieces. Now I link the routing, and I link the bill of material. I mark it for repetitive manufacturing scenario and check it. Okay, everything is correct. I can save the production version. Yes, so generally what is visible here is that workflow sends all the tasks required to make a material completely useful. Yes. So, for example, finished good needs in the system not only the material master but also additional very important production data such as bill of material, routing, production version, etc. This is what is being created now. Okay, I will save this production data, and now the production data is complete. Now the workflow will send tasks to controlling department, which is responsible for the price calculation. The price calculation is based on the production data that has been created. Okay. Certainly, I am also linked as a person from the controlling department, so you can see that I received a task. Please maintain FI and or CO data for material 100. And here the menu is much more complicated. However, what is visible? For example, if you have problems while calculating the standard cost of a finished good, and for example, you see that this problem results from the production data, then you can send the workflow back to the person either responsible for bills of materials or to the person responsible for routings. And certainly you can communicate with the comments editor, which is available here. Yes, so that all the problems are resolved. Now let's say that, for example, we start from the creation of the cost estimate. So we calculate the price. We can calculate it. Okay, as you can see that the system calculated costs that result from the machine and labor time, as well as costs that result from the components assigned in the bill of material. Okay, this cost estimate can be saved. I will save it, and now I can release the price. Now you can see in the material still the price is 0, as you can see, but now I will mark the update of the price and then release. And now, as you can see, the price is visible in the material, which is 163.53. Okay, the last thing that must be done here is the creation of a cost collector object. It's a special SAP massive order for repetitive manufacturing. So I just create a product cost collector. I am choosing the right production version here. As you can see, workflow sets all this data from me. Okay. I confirm the product cost collector has been created. Okay, and I confirm. At this moment, the workflow is almost complete. The last task, there are two tasks sent to the master data expert who created the material. When the controlling department confirms all the calculations. The first task is a message that the major workflow path, which is the creation of production and controlling data, has been completed. It may happen that, for example, a person responsible for SD view verification still hasn't verified the material. Now the master data expert can see, because this is a parallel task, can call this person and say that the major part has finished and please confirm all the remaining tasks. So now I just confirm, and this is a completely last task which is sent to the expert, the request for activation of material. So at this moment everything has already been done for this material. All the production data, all the controlling data, and all other verifications have been done. Now the master data expert can just execute this task and activate the material. Yes. So description here: verification of master data within views of type third has been completed. Confirming this work item will cause that cross-plant material status will be set to active. Yes, which means that material is active. Okay, confirming, and this was the last task in the workflow. As you can see here on the project card, for example, you can see now that this workflow is finished. Yes, so there is a green icon here. The workflow has status completed, and the material has status active. Yes, so active. Active. Basically, this is the end of the workflow. I will present also two reports. So requisitions, Material Master Requisitions. There is a report of such documents. So you can see all the documents, for example, sent by a person, a concrete person, within a time interval. For example, we can make it longer. We can select whether we want to see requisitions for new materials or, for example, for changes. Certainly on this demo system there will be many new and probably not many of changes, maybe not one. However, you can see that here you can select those requisitions as you want. You can also use organizational levels such as plant for selection purposes. Another report is the report of the project card. Looks similar. Yes, you can see all the project cards that some specific user is responsible for, and those project cards which are assigned to the concrete MD project type. Yes, for example, you can see that there are a few those bike examples in this system. So the workflow is done, and now the material is complete. So I will demonstrate that the ultimate aim of the workflow is as the productive usage of a material. I will post a goods receipt of 2 pieces of bikes from the repetitive manufacturing. Yes. So as you can see, a goods receipt has been posted. This is the material document number. Yes, which means that really workflow ensured that all master data is really complete. Yes, we have a goods receipt of 2 bikes, and the goods receipt of 2 bikes cost the usage of 2 cross beams and 4 wheels. This results from the bill of materials, certainly, and we can see that we have exactly 2 bikes on stock. Thank you very much. This is the end of the presentation. Do you have any questions? Okay, we have one small question. Can we use MatFlow within multi-plant organization? Yes, MatFlow can be used in multi-plant organizations. However, when a material is going to be used, for example, in 2 plants, like for example the first one is production and the second is warehousing, then there have to be 2 material requisitions sent within MatFlow. 2, yes, because the first one would be for a completely new material, and the second one would be for material extension. So it works in a similar fashion to standard material maintenance transactions. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.